name's Miles Anderson. I'm from Fir Mountain, Saskatchewan. The Anderson family moved here in 1911. Then on my other side of my mother's side of the family, they come in 24. All of them, all agriculture people. Like, between the stuff that we lease and we own, there's probably 45, 50,000 acres. Of that, most of it's native prairie. We got probably 2,000 acres of tame grass and 1,000 acres of cultivated land. Sage grouse is a big chicken. They kind of stick, they got these big airbags that pop out of their chest. They fill them up with air and then they kind of hop and they make this bubbly sound. Yeah, you can hear it for a long ways. So I mean, that's what they do. The roosters get out there and call, and when the hens are interested in doing something, they come over to where the party's at, and it's kind of like Glenworth on Saturday night, I guess. There's a lot less than what there was 30 years ago, 25 years ago, but there's definitely more than what there was 5 or 6 years ago. I'd say it's been 5 years that we started doing things like we started laying down fences, and I mean, Parks Canada come and see me, said, you know, like that fence between us is, you know, not far from the lake, and you know, there's, and I said, I see birds out there, yeah, and well, what can we do about it? I said, well, I only use it 2 months of the year. We only use that pasture when we're breeding, so for July and August, so the other 10 months of the year we can just pull the staples and lay it on the ground. So we don't have to take the wire out, we can just lay it down. Huh? So then I found an outfit out of Wyoming that builds these fence clips that makes it easier. Instead of going in there and hammering staples every year or putting clips back on the steel posts, you can just drop these nails in, and then that made it considerably easier. You can walk along there in half a day, put it all back up again. The thing was that they wanted to put these flags on the fence, and they're 70% effective. But if you don't, the fence isn't there, it's 100% effective. So why not just lay it down? Where the sage grouse were, we didn't change anything, because that's already right? If something's there, why fix it? It's already doing the right thing. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to expand that. So you take the practices that were happening on that particular little piece of ground and just move it somewhere else so that you can hopefully get them to raise chicks elsewhere. Well, you're trying to get more forbs and more insects growing, which is, in fact, what you're trying to do is overgraze it, right? And it's in areas that would necessarily, some guys would say that maybe you should fence them out because they're riparian areas. It kind of throws in the face that maybe some of the stuff that we've done with riparian area management and saving it as far as the sage grouse is concerned wasn't a good thing. I mean, we've got 19 other species that are every bit as endangered, that are every bit as important. So, I mean, we don't want to do some kind of a management decision that we do for the sage grouse that's going to take out one of these other ones. So you got to think kind of globally if you're going to do something differently. You know that if you stay the same, things aren't going to change very much. Wouldn't be, we're the original conservationists. I mean, people maybe don't realize that, but if it wasn't for ranchers, there'd be no buffalo, they'd be gone. It was some rancher somewhere who decided that took it upon himself to keep the 30 remaining plains buffalo. It's just the nature of what we do.